He thought it was just another case, until the truth exposed everything. Lucas Hart had won dozens of tough court cases with ease. At 32, he was the youngest big name at Carter & Lee, a top law firm in Oakville. He knew how things worked behind closed doors. Important clues often went missing. People changed their stories. Families who lost someone usually took a quiet deal. The city's system always protected its own. Then they handed Lucas the Carter case. Everyone thought it would be simple. A sad family wanted justice for their son. They had a 72-year-old lawyer who seemed too old to fight. Most thought she'd rather be knitting than in court. But they didn't see Clara Thompson's quiet strength. That same strength had faced down bullies for years. She had stopped dishonest people in power without ever yelling. Now, Lucas Hart walked into court, ready to win again. He thought he'd crush this case like all the others. But Clara Thompson wasn't there to just fight. She was there to change everything. Lucas checked his fancy tie in the courthouse bathroom mirror. He practiced his winning smile, the one that charmed everyone. His dark hair looked perfect in the morning light. He whispered his speech one last time, feeling unstoppable. He looked like success itself, strong, confident, unbeatable. The bathroom door opened, and David Cole, another lawyer, walked in. "Big day, Hart," David said, nodding. "The city's watching this one. They picked the right guy." Lucas grinned, fixing his hair. "Some people think they can blame the police every time things go wrong," he said. "Not today, I've got this." David frowned a little. "Just be careful, the Carter family has a lot of support out there." Lucas laughed, his voice bouncing off the shiny walls. "Careful? I'll wrap this up by lunch. Watch me." In the hallway, other lawyers gathered around Lucas. They hung on his every word, like he was a star. Younger ones looked at him with wide eyes. Older ones just nodded, knowing his tricks. "It's always the same," Lucas said, waving his hands. "A family loses someone and wants money. They'll probably bring out a crying mom to trick the jury." Emma Lane, a young lawyer, shifted her feet. "What about the video from that night?" she asked. "People saw what happened." Lucas waved her off. "That doesn't matter, Emma. They always try to make their guy look perfect." He didn't say this was his first big police case. Details like that didn't fit his image. "But shouldn't we look at," Emma started again. "Listen," Lucas cut in, smiling too sweetly. "Leave the big stuff to me, okay? Go sort some papers." Emma's cheeks turned red, and she walked away. The other lawyers scattered, leaving Lucas feeling tall. Across town, in a cozy house full of memories, Anna Carter sat with her daughter, Mia. Photos of their family covered the walls. The smell of fresh tea filled the air. They wore their best clothes, ready for a hard day. A picture of their son, Noah, smiled from the shelf. He wore a graduation cap, his eyes bright with dreams. Other photos showed Noah as a baby, then a teen, always smiling. Mia's college letter hung next to Noah's awards. An empty space showed their dad was gone too. Anna had raised her kids alone, strong as ever. "Mama, are you sure we can do this?" Mia whispered. She was 23, and Noah was all she had left. "Fighting the police sounds so big. They're saying bad things about Noah on TV." Anna touched the small necklace Noah gave her years ago. Her fingers held it tight as she spoke. "Your brother didn't deserve to die like that, Mia. We owe him the truth. He always did what was right, no matter what. Now it's our turn." Mia wiped her eyes and nodded. "I miss him so much, Mama. At school, I keep thinking he'll show up with his goofy gifts. He used to bring me cheap flowers to cheer me up." Anna smiled, her own eyes wet. Remember how he worked late to buy your schoolbooks? That boy loved his family more than anything. A soft knock came at the door. Anna stood, smoothing her skirt, feeling strong. She opened it to find Clara Thompson. At 72, Clara moved like she owned the room. Her silver hair was neat, her suit simple but sharp. Her eyes showed she'd seen joy and pain. She stood tall, like nothing could shake her. "Mrs. Carter, Mia," Clara said warmly. Her smile was kind, but her shoulders looked heavy. She'd spent all night reading Noah's case. It wasn't an easy one. Anna waved her inside. "Sit, please. Our pastor said you're the best. He said you've fought battles like this forever." Clara set her old briefcase down. It was scratched from years of court fights. "I've seen too many stories like Noah's," she said. "Too many families left with no answers." She paused, picking her words. "I stopped working last year, but Noah's story pulled me back. Some fights are too important to skip." Mia leaned in, her voice steady. "What about their lawyer? I heard he's tough." "Lucas Hart," Clara said, her eyes sharp. "Young, smart, and never lost a case like this. He'll try to make this about anything but Noah's death. He'll talk about Noah's past, twist things, make him seem bad. Are you ready for that?" Anna held her necklace tighter. "They took my son. They can't hurt him now." Clara took Anna's hand, her grip warm. "Then let's tell Noah's story. But in court, we have to stay calm, no matter what they say. Can you do that?" Anna and Mia nodded, their eyes scared but strong. Anna grabbed her favorite book of prayers. Mia slipped a tiny photo of Noah into her bag. As they walked to Clara's car, neighbors peeked out. Some waved, cheering silently. Others turned away, unsure. The courthouse was a mess of noise and lights. News trucks lined the street. Cameras flashed as Clara led Anna and Mia through the crowd. Reporters shouted questions, their voices loud and sharp. "Mrs. Carter, do you hate the police? Miss Thompson, why take this case now? Mia, was your brother really innocent? Is this about the big protests in town?" Clara kept them moving, calm as a rock. She'd done this many times before. Her hand stayed on Anna's back, steady and sure. They climbed the steps, pushing toward the truth. Inside, the hallway felt heavy. Police officers stood along the walls, staring. Some wore dark bands on their badges. It showed they supported the officers in the case. Their looks said no one could challenge them. Then Lucas Hart appeared, talking to reporters. His voice carried, loud and confident. "The officers are heroes who keep us safe," he said. "This case is just people trying to make trouble." He stopped when he saw Clara and the Carters. "Well, look who's here," he said, smirking. "Didn't know we'd face a grandma today. This case must be a trip down memory lane. Need a map to the courtroom, ma'am?" The reporters turned, waiting for a fight. Clara looked at Lucas, her face calm. She put a hand on Mia's shoulder as Mia tensed up. "Mr. Hart," Clara said, just loud enough. "I'm excited to see your proof. I've learned that truth doesn't need to shout. It wins by being clear and strong." Lucas's smile slipped for a second. He laughed it off. "Save the old sayings, lady. This isn't a small-time game." Inside the courtroom, Judge Daniel Holt watched closely. His face stayed blank, but his eyes saw everything. The room was full, reporters, neighbors, police. Some wore buttons saying, "Truth for Noah." Others, officers, sat with hard faces. The air felt thick, like a storm was coming. Lucas stood first, ready to talk. "Your Honor, jury," he began, his voice smooth. This case is sad, but not because of the police. It's sad because some people want money for a bad choice. Noah Carter made trouble that night. The officers did their job. Nothing more. He walked back and forth, owning the room. "You'll hear a lot about feelings and fairness," he said. But forget that. Noah fought the police. He chose to cause trouble. And it ended badly. The real shame is how his family twists it. Lucas spoke for a long time, painting Noah as a problem. His words were sharp, meant to scare the jury. When he sat, he grinned, sure he'd won already. He winked at Emma, who was taking notes. Clara stood slowly, like she had all the time in the world. The room got quiet, not forced, but real. Her voice was soft but reached everyone. Noah Carter was 26 when he died. He worked hard to help Mia go to college. He helped at his church every weekend. He never broke the law. She let each fact sink in, clear and true. Mr. Hart talks about rules and training. But this case is about what's right. It's about a system that sometimes forgets people. Clara didn't move much. She didn't need to. Her calm made everyone listen. "You'll hear what happened that night," she said. People saw the officers turn a small stop into something deadly. You'll see proof the police cared more about looking good than being fair. Judge Holt watched her, his face still. Years ago, Clara had taught him about justice. He'd been a young student, learning from her wisdom. Now he hid his pride, staying fair as a judge. "This isn't about hating the police," Clara finished. "It's about making sure power is used right. No mother should lose a child because someone made a bad choice." The room stayed quiet after she spoke. Anna sat tall, tears on her cheeks, but strong. Mia held her mom's hand, their courage clear. Later, in a small room, Clara sat with Anna and Mia. They were tired, their eyes red from crying. But they hadn't given up. "This will get harder," Clara said gently. "They'll say mean things about Noah. They'll look for anything to make him look bad. Are you ready?" Anna sat straighter, her sadness turning to fire. "My son is gone, Miss Thompson. All we have is his story. Help us share it." Mia nodded, her voice firm. "Noah never let bullies win. Neither will we." Clara smiled, her own strength matching theirs. "Then we'll do this together. They have money and power. But we have the truth." They left the courthouse as the sun set. The sky glowed pink and orange. Tomorrow would bring more fights. But today, they'd taken a big step. The battle for Noah's truth had begun. In his fancy office, Lucas untied his tie. He poured a drink, his smile gone. Something about Clara's quiet power bothered him. He pushed it down, not wanting to admit it. He called his boss, his voice low. "Chief, we might have a problem. That old lawyer isn't what we thought." He listened, frowning. "I don't care what it takes," he said. "We need to keep some things hidden. This case could ruin everything if we're not careful." The fight was set, the sides clear. In the days ahead, everyone would see something new. Real strength didn't always look loud or big. It came in quiet, steady ways. As night fell, Clara sat in her small home office. Papers and photos covered her desk. She knew the toughest fights mattered most. This one was just starting. The next morning, Clara worked early. Light crept into her office as she read files. Her tea sat cold, forgotten. One photo kept pulling her back. It showed Officer Mark Stone near Noah that night. His camera was on, clear as day. But that video was gone, like it never existed. Clara's years of work told her this wasn't a mistake. Her phone buzzed, a number she didn't know. She answered carefully. Miss Thompson? A man's voice said, shaky. I know about the Carter case. I can't talk here. Can we meet? Clara grabbed a pen. Who are you? Someone who saw the truth that night. Meet me at Willow Park in an hour, by the benches. The call ended fast. Clara stared at the phone. She'd been through too many cases to ignore this. Something big was coming. The meeting at Willow Park kept Clara awake all night. A nervous former police clerk had slipped her a small USB drive. His hands shook as he handed it over, saying it held the video they tried to bury. I can't live with this guilt anymore, he whispered before vanishing into the dark. Back in her office, Clara plugged the USB into her computer, her heart pounding. The screen lit up with footage from Officer Mark Stone's body camera. It showed the truth Lucas Hart and his allies wanted hidden. Noah Carter didn't resist. He stood there, hands raised, his voice trembling as he begged to explain. But the officer didn't listen. The next minutes were a nightmare, unneeded force, cold words, and Noah motionless on the icy sidewalk. Clara clenched her fists, tears falling silently. This was the proof she needed, but also the pain Anna and Mia would face watching it. The next morning, the courtroom buzzed with tension. Lucas Hart still smirked, confident as ever. He thought he had everything under control, that Clara's old stories couldn't touch the system. But when Clara stood and asked to show new evidence, the room went silent. Lucas frowned, looking uneasy for the first time. Judge Holt nodded, and the video played on a big screen. Gasps filled the air as the truth unfolded. Anna hugged Mia tightly, both sobbing but with hope in their eyes. The jury sat frozen, some covering their mouths in shock. Lucas tried to object, his voice cracking, but Judge Holt raised a hand for silence. We'll watch it all, he said firmly. When the video ended, the courtroom held its breath. Clara stepped forward, her voice soft but powerful. This isn't just Noah Carter's story. It's the story of those the system ignores. Today, we have a chance to do what's right. She looked at the jury, her eyes carrying a lifetime of fighting. Let the truth speak. In the days that followed, Lucas Hart's smug grin was gone. His team scrambled, trying to fight back, but the evidence was too clear. Oakville's community erupted, people who'd stayed quiet now marching for justice. News outlets ran the story non-stop, calling the video undeniable proof. The jury took only hours to decide. The officers were guilty. And the Carter family received compensation, though no money could replace their loss. More importantly, the case forced the police department to rethink its ways, promising changes so no family would suffer like this again. In their cozy home, Anna and Mia sat together, Noah's photo between them. They didn't say much, but the relief in their eyes said everything. Clara visited, bringing a simple bouquet of flowers. Noah would be proud of you both, she said warmly. Anna took Clara's hand, tears shining. Thank you, for giving my boy a voice. Mia smiled, her eyes bright. And for giving us hope. Clara smiled back gently. We did it because truth is always stronger. As she left, Clara looked at Oakville's sky, glowing with sunlight. She knew the fight wasn't over, but today, justice had won. She walked on, ready for the next battle, because people like Noah always needed someone to stand up.